What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got a lot of interesting information for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with Nintendo's strategy meeting. This was between the managers, and there was some press. Mr. David Gibson via Twitter that was reporting on what was said. Now, there were some slides and other stuff produced, but the most interesting thing out of all of this is Nintendo talking about their next generation system and what they're going to do. And it doesn't seem like they're going to be going with the lower spec or lower end type of things. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. This doesn't mean Nintendo's going to come out with the Nintendo Switch Series X and it's going to all of a sudden be as powerful as that system for their next generation or a Nintendo Switch Pro, and it's going to be able to push 15 million teraflops or anything like that. That is not the case here, but it does seem like Nintendo is looking to kind of get more on the cutting edge side of things, whether it supports 4K or supporting the DLSS technology that will get them to look like 4K built into there, maybe some tensor cores, other things in order to kind of have a little bit more of a stronger appeal to the system. Now, this was according to David Gibson via Twitter, reporting on what was said from Furukawa at the managers meeting. Quote, R&D investment previously used to look at conventional tech that enabled a lower price and appeal to users, but now doing cutting edge technology. Look at how intuitive it is for users. Also, battery life is important given gameplay of 5 to 6 hours. This is very interesting here because this is the first time that Nintendo has ever referenced what they're going to do from a technology or from a power standpoint with their next system. And I think that this is definitely good to hear. Now, here's the thing though. We don't know if they're talking about a next generation or what they're going to do within the family of Switch systems that we're seeing here. So there's been a lot of talk about a revision, like a new Nintendo Switch, slightly more powerful, kind of has some more RAM. Is it that, or are they talking about the next generation system, or are they talking about both of them? Which it could be. It could be a revision that's slightly better as well in order to kind of work on a couple different things. And then they could be talking about the next generation piece of tech, which is more cutting edge. Now remember, it's an R&D investment. So what does that mean? That means they're investing in something in order to produce in the long term, not anytime in the next, like, let's say 6 months or year, but the R&D investment is for more of a long-term thing. So something tells me that it's going to be their next generation system, since they continuously talk about midway through the life of the current Switch system. Now, they did just recently discontinue the Nintendo 3DS, which does free up manufacturing resources, everything like that. So that's pretty cool, right? 3DS hasn't gotten games in forever. It's pretty much been discontinued. Now we got the official word, and nobody actually cares because there's no new games coming out for the system. But I think what they're going to do here is that you have the mid-range, or you have the lower end, like the Nintendo Switch, you have the Switch Lite. Those are going to be the value propositions, and then Nintendo introduces a more powerful system with maybe some price drops to the previous one. So Switch Lite goes to $150, you have the regular Switch that goes to, let's say, $250 or $200, and then you have this new stronger Switch that is $300. So I do think that is definitely a possibility here, and that's awesome, right? I would love to see Nintendo be able to have something a little bit stronger than what we've got right here, considering that there are some bottlenecks here and there with game development, with RAM, and kind of what developers are doing, right? We've seen it, the cartridge sizes, I think those are definitely something that Nintendo needs to invest into in order to see if they can produce bigger cartridges that are just as reliable, just as fast, just as good, but at a way cheaper price. So I'm hoping that their investment or whatever they're planning on doing incorporates that, because I think that's going to be a big key as well. You can't continuously have these smaller sizes like 32 gigabytes. It's going to cost an arm and a leg for publishers and developers. You got to have something that's a bit more affordable, in addition to, of course, digital, which is just digital. So we'll see what they do with their storage, with their RAM, with the GPU, with everything. Plus, you also have to factor in what happened with NVIDIA and how they're buying ARM and how that's going to factor in with the R&D investment. So there's a lot of excitement going forward for Nintendo fans, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they produce in the future. So what do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, and moving on to the next topic here. This is extremely exciting to talk about because it has been 100% confirmed that Monster Hunter Rise, the brand new Monster Hunter game specifically made for the Nintendo Switch in mind, will be using the RE engine. Capcom has confirmed this, which confirms the rumors that we did report on when it comes to a new Monster Hunter game coming from Duscom, and also it using a custom version of the RE engine. Now, Capcom didn't say anything about custom in front of that version of the RE engine. They just said RE engine, but let's go ahead and get right into their words, then we can kind of break this down and what this means for the future of the Nintendo Switch or any other platforms, and what Capcom's going to be doing on this system. So here's what they had to say. Capcom Co.Ltd. Capcom today revealed, or recently more like it, Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, two new titles for the Nintendo Switch. Both titles will be released worldwide, with Monster Hunter Rise scheduled to release on March 26, 2021, and Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, which I'm really excited for, scheduled for summer 2021. The Monster Hunter series consists of hunting action games that pit players against giant monsters in a beautiful natural environment. Beginning with the first title in 2004, the series established a new genre in which players cooperate to hunt ferocious monsters with their friends, and has since grown into a global phenomenon, with cumulative sales of the series exceeding 64 million units shipped as of June 30th, 2020. Monster Hunter Rise is an all-new Monster Hunter experience developed for the Nintendo Switch. The game provides a completely fresh take on the hunting experience through the new mechanics such as the wire bug, a wire-based grappling action that allows players to traverse dangerous or rocky terrain at high speeds, as well as with the debut of the new hunting partners called Palamutes. The game is currently being developed with Capcom's proprietary RE engine in order to provide a new approachable Monster Hunter experience that can be enjoyed anytime, anywhere, and with anyone. Further, Capcom is also developing the role-playing game Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin in order to provide an enjoyable experience for fans of the Monster Hunter and RPGs alike. Capcom remains firmly committed to satisfying the expectations of all stakeholders by leveraging its industry-leading game development capabilities in order to create highly entertaining gameplay experiences. So this is very interesting that the RE engine is being used for at least one of these titles. I don't know about Monster Hunter Stories 2. They didn't particularly confirm that, maybe, but for sure Monster Hunter Rise, that game is using the RE engine, which the rumors were true on that. Now, we did hear about this before. There had been rumors swirling around about the RE engine and what Nintendo and Capcom wanted to do with that. We do know about Capcom saying, hey, we need some more RAM in the system in order for us to kind of put some stuff on here, or there should be more RAM on there, and Nintendo fans basically bashed Capcom to hell and back for the past, I don't know, since 2017, because they didn't spit out 15 different brand new experiences completely made for the Switch, custom tuned because they asked for more RAM, not knowing that games take time to make. But hey, that's a whole nother thing that we've already talked about in my live streams. But it's good to see that the RE engine is going to be running on the Nintendo Switch here. Duscom, who got this rumor right when it comes to the RE engine and also when it comes to Monster Hunter being announced pretty soon here, he stated that there aren't going to be ports of the RE engine games. So Resident Evil 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, also, what else do they have? Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, all of these games use this RE engine. But he said those aren't coming over. So the only thing that I can think of why that those aren't coming over, because this is a custom version of it. Now, once again, Capcom didn't say that. They just said RE engine. But if Duscom's rumor in terms of what he was saying was correct, which I have no reason not to believe him based on him getting everything right here, it does seem like it's more of a custom tuned version of the RE engine. And we're going to get games particularly made with the RE Switch engine in mind for the system, so it doesn't look old, right? So it doesn't look like the old school MT framework games, and you can get the best out of what the Switch can do, which is something that I've been very high on when it comes to when the Switch came out, making sure that you have the custom tuned games to really fit the audience, fit the hardware, fit the capabilities of the system. And I think that this is great because maybe we don't get RE7 or we don't get RE2 Remake or whatever the case is, but maybe we get like Resident Evil Revelations 3, right? Because you have to remember, Resident Evil Revelations 1, that was custom made for the Nintendo 3DS when it launched, and it looked absolutely amazing even in the PS3 and 360 era with the Nintendo 3DS, Resident Evil Revelations looked fantastic, and it still looks good to this day running on native 3DS hardware. So maybe that's what they're going to be aiming for, that type of experience. Maybe we see something like that, a custom-made Resident Evil game for the Nintendo Switch. I would not be surprised if that gets announced sometime within the next year or so. So what do you guys think about the RE engine running on the Nintendo Switch here with Monster Hunter Rise being made within this engine? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys. Amazon bestsellers, we are back at it again, baby. And guess what game? The game that was apparently going to be in limited stock and people aren't going to be able to find it and scalpers were going to be going crazy and all this stuff. Yeah, Super Mario 3D All-Stars back in stock on Amazon. Tons of copies from launch day, man. It was a great launch. #1 on the eShop in most regions, #1 on Amazon in most regions, and copies are just flying off of the digital store shelves and everything. Walmart has it for 50 bucks, so people are enjoying that deal right there. If you felt that it was too expensive, people saying that it was overpriced, well, there you go. You can get it for 50 at Walmart, man. So this is actually pretty cool to see. Super Mario 3D All-Stars, I've been playing a bit of it myself, been getting into Mario Galaxy, and I have to say, Mario Galaxy is a fantastic experience on the Nintendo Switch, being able to play that style of game anywhere. I was actually playing it at my mom's house recently, and man, was it fun. It was just fun. The enhanced controls, being able in portable mode to use your finger to use that as like the star pointer to collect star bits, being able to spin with the Y button. It looks phenomenal. I even think Sunshine gets some nice additions in there as well. It looks and plays pretty good too, so I've dabbled a little bit into that game. I think Sunshine is definitely best represented on the Nintendo Switch here in terms of official releases. And Mario 64, despite some of the flaws that we've seen with it, it's still a great version of the game. So in my opinion, Super Mario 3D All-Stars is selling this well because people really are excited and happy to play these type of games enhanced on the Nintendo Switch anywhere that they want, which is the big appeal of it. Not having to play on a homebrew or community type of PC or whatever the heck people do to modify the games, not being able to play on the crappy Wii U version, you know, of Mario 64, not having to play the Wii version and use the Wii remote and pointer and hook up the Wii U or hook up the GameCube and go back and try to do all that. Everything is right there on that one cart for you to play, and the games play better than what they did before. So to me, it's a home run, and that's why it's selling like a home run, because people are really enjoying it. It's pretty much outselling every single other game that was released recently. I mean, Avengers isn't even anywhere near on the list here, and Tony Hawk is pretty far down. It's selling worse than New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe on the list here, man. So that's cool to see, man. I think it is a fantastic game, and I'm having a ton of fun going through it, especially Mario Galaxy. That game looks so good. The art style, the direction, you can tell that they did a good job with it, but it's enhanced even better, running at 1080p, 60 frames per second, looking very good and sharp on the Switch. So I'm enjoying it. Definitely there's some things they could have done a little bit more with the lore-wise, right? Putting a little bit more behind-the-scenes type of stuff. That would have been cool, in addition to maybe even like the 16:9 widescreen with the Mario 64 and everything. I think that would have been dope if they could up the frame rate. You know, there are some things here and there, but overall, if you're talking about the best experience originally released and comparing them to what we've gotten before, definitely the best releases for these three games. So I'm excited to go through it all again. I'm going to be going through, I don't know how fast I'm going to get through each one of them, but I know Mario Galaxy is going to be a game that I play quite a bit. So what do you guys think about all the different news here? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.